Hey guys, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I hope you enjoyed this interview. All right, welcome back to the program. My guest is with me now. He's Abdulrasheed Othman. He is the Chief Executive Officer at Business Leadership Consulting. Hello, Abdulrasheed. Rashid is okay if I call you that.
Hi, Nancy.
Yes, hi, and welcome again. We did part one.
Yes.
And we had a lot of feedback.
A
Like,
lot.
oh, a lot.
It's like the time wasn't enough.
The time wasn't enough. Is time ever enough, you know? All right, so welcome back. So let's do part two. So the last time, of course, we talked about, business models to adopt a high inflationary environment. And since the last time, inflation has not even abated. It's still high.
Yeah.
So that's why we're still doing part two now. So let me start. Okay, let me start by asking you what we did during part one. What would you like to highlight now in part two? Let me put it that way. As a consultant, as a business consultant, we had people that joined us on Zoom the last time.
Yes.
What were the common denominators that you really, that were the challenges of people? And perhaps the feedback you also got. What were people asking you, or, asking you to comment on?
So I think one of the major things that was recurring is that a lot of people, because the purchasing power is low, so people are saying, okay, listen, I'm selling a particular product or I'm providing a particular service, but people can't even afford it. And if you remember the last session, what we talked about was, okay, how do we now create 3 tiers of products where we have like a mass market product that is sachetized, that the common person can buy. But they're saying that even creating that is not even sufficient to keep the business. Like you were saying at the beginning of the show, your colleague, where he said he had to shut down his supermarket. So what happens in that kind of scenario? And I feel like that's one of the things that are recurring. Low purchasing power is causing inability to keep businesses afloat. But I feel like businesses are not looking at other strategies that they can use to increase revenue. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that can keep your business afloat is revenue, if you're able to make enough money. Now, we tell people diversify. Diversify doesn't mean go and start another business. It means that look at the current business that you're doing, what other models can you put into play? So I can give you 3 easy models that you can even adopt. The first one is, if you are a service-based business, for example, you must create a product. So we're talking about it earlier on, like you're a salon, people come and you make their hair. Do you sell hair products in your salon? Most salon owners don't sell hair products, but instead, what happens is that it's their staff that sell the product. So you, as the business owner, you're not making enough money to pay rent, but your staff is comfortable, they're doing well. So you are giving them opportunities for them to just come and do their side
That
gig.
happens to me. Once I go into the salon, a few of them like, mama, I get this hair product. I'm like, and when I find out, it's their own hustle.
It's their own hustle. So can you institutionalize it as the business owner? Where you say, look, we're selling this hair product, and anybody that sells it has a percentage or a commission that they can make. If you're a product-based business, can you start a service? So I'll give you an example. You sell gifts. You sell, cups, mugs, or whatever. And then people reach out to you and there's an anniversary or a birthday or something. Can you create a service whereby you deliver that mug, but in a, with confetti and all those things? That's a service that you can charge for. Despite that, you're a product-based business. If you add a little bit of service to it, you're going to make more money from it. The third strategy that people can use is agency. A lot of people say, and that's another feedback that we got, okay, but I want to start a business, but I don't have capital. So this third strategy is agency. How can you become an agent for someone else's product or service? If we look at it in more developed countries, things like Jumia, things like Amazon, you can be an affiliate whereby you use a product. Let's say the phone you're using, you use it, you enjoy it. You can create an affiliate link whereby you talk about the phone, and anybody that buys the phone through your affiliate link, they make money from it. So you don't have to go and create your own product or service. You can look at someone else's product or service and say, okay, listen, if I get people to come and patronize you, can you give me some sort of agency? And the same thing with land. The agents that sell the land don't own the land, but they make money from selling the land. So I think that these 3 strategies are strategies that you can immediately deploy, to be able to kind of cushion the inflationary.
I think it's the real estate people that have gotten that model.
They've gotten it.
They've
Locked
gotten
down.
it. In fact, you want
and they're
to,
the ones
to rent a
enjoying
house.
life.
Yes, you want to rent a house. There's agents.
There's agents.
There's even you want to even renew the agency.
The agency fee is there.
What is there? For
Yes,
what? For
exactly.
some, you know,
Exactly.
a lot of fees.
Exactly.
I can see that we're having our virtual guests on. Ramatu, I'm calling on you now. If you can hear me, please can you? Yes, we're seeing you eat live on television. So please, Victoria, I can see we're having many participants on Zoom, but please can you we sent you rules of engagement. So please abide by the rules of engagement. We'll come to you. If you have a question, just raise up your hand so that I will call on you very quickly. And we're already having calls. Let's see the others. I'm just seeing two here, but I can see there are more participants under here. Victor is already raising his hand for a question. So Victor, put on your video, and I hope you're seated well. Okay, Victor, just ask your question quickly in 30 seconds. Then we'll go to the phone lines.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Victor. I'm the founder of Sir Victor's Craft. We're into leather works.
You are into what?
I want to briefly
ask
a
question.
You
are into what? We didn't get that.
Okay. We're into leather works.
Okay.
Manufacturing of leather shoes.
Leather, okay.
And all leather accessories.
Okay.
Yes. Now, my question is this. We've had in the past where we act as middlemen between customers and those people that sell products in such that we tend to bring customers for them. But at a point, they default in coming to terms of fulfilling their own part of the agreement as such that the money that is actually due for us. So I want to know if there's a body that regulates these things. If in a situation whereby you brought a customer to a particular marketer or a particular seller, and the terms and conditions are not met, is there anybody that actually serve as a mediator that will remedy this effect? Because it's actually painful that you go do the jingles and everything, and the business is successful and you're not reachable again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Victor. I don't know if that's your question.
So that's very
I don't know if that your question really coincides with what we're discussing this morning, but we'll try as much as possible. Please, can you mute your mic so that there will be no interaction? We'll try as much as possible to answer. I don't know if you have an answer to what he's saying. People that renege on contracts, as it were.
I mean, it's just inside the contract, you must have had a clause that if there's any breach of this particular contract, either you're going to go through alternative dispute resolution or you take it to the court. That's really, every contract should have a dispute resolution clause, whereby I say that if there's any dispute that comes up as a result of this contract or breaking this contract, we're going to go to dispute resolution in so region, or we're going to use the laws of so country, especially if you're doing a multinational agreement. So the courts of law are fully equipped to be able to handle such issues.
And when you talked about courts, what also came to my mind is that there are also small claims courts scattered across the country. Yes. I don't know. Victor, are you still there? Please, can you all turn on your video if you can hear me? There are all small claims courts now scattered across the country, whereby if you're not being paid, for example, you can drag that person to court. I think between a few thousands naira, perhaps to 10 or even 15 million naira, if I'm not mistaken. So you mustn't go to like the bigger courts. Yeah. So it depends on where you are. So you can actually find that if that actually is where you are. All right. If you have another question, please, you can raise your hand up on line. I'm seeing many participants here, so I would like to see your faces. I don't know if you just enjoy hearing my voices, hearing our voices, and just taking off your video. But let's see if we can take a caller coming in. And I have Anyike Dolakbo calling in. Can you hear us? If you can just make your comments. But please, the phone lines are on. What we're discussing are models to adopt in your business to help you thrive in an inflationary environment. So please do call. Do not flash us, please. Do not flash us. Call to ask questions that are pertinent, that are really important to you, so that we can help you this morning for your business. So you were speaking earlier in terms of, if you have a service business, create a product. If you have a product business, create a service. How about for people that are in the knowledge business?
So knowledge is the new gold, right? And in the world that we live in now, where we live in a knowledge economy where people get paid to teach what they know. And I feel like the entire process has become democratized, meaning that you have the power to determine what you want to charge, what you want to teach. There are people that are teaching something as simple as how to take care of plants. There are courses like that, how to take care of plants, how to do your taxes, how to do your accounting.
Bookkeeping for businesses. They don't even know how to put record keeping.
Yes, so somebody just comes, sits down, creates a course, and then puts it out there at a price that people are willing to pay, and then you'll be able to, sell it. And I think that now segues into the third thing, is that if you want to go into that kind of thing, you must create a personal brand. Personal brands right now are also key in this knowledge economy. Because if you create a personal brand, you see, gone are the days that before you could reach a wide number of people, a large population, you had to go to the TV stations. There are people now that have more views on YouTube, on their YouTube channel or TikTok channel, than even some stations. So you see that the internet has come to kind of like democratize the entire thing. So if you create a personal brand, that gives you some sort of leverage whereby you can start working with brands, which is another thing that I noted down. Community. Another way to overcome inflation is building a community. If you have a community of 1 million followers, 1,000 followers, 20,000 followers, there are people that are willing to pay you for you to be able to advertise their product and service into your community. So that's another way that you can work on that, especially for people in the knowledge space. What are the things that you know? Can you teach it? And then can you build a community and then sell access to that community to people that are looking to, to also tap into your community?
What's a good business with high inflation rates? Because I remember during COVID, for example, our industry, we worked ourselves off. The whole world was on a closed down. For us, we were working, even when the whole country was closed down. And I remember a friend of mine who happens also to be a guest on my show. He said he looked at himself at that time. The whole country is on a lockdown. But there were a few days that countries allowed for people to go to the market. He said he was watching me on the show and was like, Nancy is an essential service person. Yes. He looked at his business. I'm not in essential services. That this actually, jolted him. So that means that if the world is going gaga, that means that there are some businesses that will still be afloat. And you know what he told me? He had to create a business within the next year that was essential service, which was food. It went into rice milling and all of that. Where am I going to with this question? In a high inflation environment, there are some cyclical products, there are some non-cyclical products. So how do you get a good business in an inflationary environment? Because when inflation is high, not all businesses are also good there.
Good there, yes. Yeah. I think that what you look at is, what is essential? That's the first thing, right? So in trying to go into any business, the first and critical thing you have to look at is the market size, right? And the more essential the product or service you're trying to go into, the more you can tap into the market size. So talking about the COVID period, during that period, my wife and I had a pharmacy. So we used to run a pharmacy in Kano then. And like you said, when everybody is shutting down, we had to go to open store. And yes, we're running a pharmacy, but what was the thing that we're selling a lot of? Masks, hand sanitizers,
vitamin C, zinc.
You said we stocked up on those things. Yeah. So as a business owner, you must watch the trend. What is the trend? Like, for example, even me, one of the things I do in my consulting and coaching, my prices are more premium. But I realized that, look, there's inflation and, access to funds is a bit low. So what did I do? I went into the lower end of the market, whereby I relaunched one of my courses and then, selling it to also keep my business afloat. So as a business owner, it's important for you to always check your numbers. Before you go into any business, research that business. Don't go into a business because somebody else is doing the business. You and I can be in the same industry, but we're running two separate businesses. I'll give you an example. If both of us are in real estate, and my properties are 300 million naira, your properties are 25 million naira, we're not in the same business. Because if I'm making 10% profit on 300 million, that's 30 million. If you're making 10% profit on 35 million, that's 3.5 million. We're not in the same business. But also, the time it will take me to get a 300 million client, you might sell 10 of that. So before you go into any business, first thing you need to research is what is the market size? What is the demand for the product? A lot of business owners go into business without carrying out adequate research, market research. And because now the internet is so wide, you can actually carry out research from your laptop. Just ask questions. Get a feel of people. Even this strategy of agency is a good one, because before you go into a business, can you be an agent for someone that is already in the business? So that you learn the ropes. Don't go and start up a restaurant when you don't even know two things about how to run a restaurant. Can you go and work in a restaurant, see where do they get their items from, which market is cheaper, how do they process it, what are the things they use to cut costs, before you now go and decide to start up. Which is why, especially for the younger generation, I think that internships is something that is very key in trying to, grow their business.
Internship, not even just business, even across board. Yes. It's good for you to be an intern, because that time you're able to undergo training and all of that. Very, very important. All right. If you have a question, I'm seeing that the numbers are growing on Zoom. I can see that from here. Numbers are growing on Zoom. So if you do have a question, just raise your hand and let's take your question very quickly. The number is also on the screen for you to call so that we can answer your question. Let's see if we can take this call. I hope it doesn't drop. And once we take your call, please just tell me who you are and where you're calling from and your question. Of course, what we're discussing today are business strategies to adopt in a high inflationary period. I hope that this doesn't cut. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Daily Ajose.
Okay.
I'm calling from Abulegba, Lagos.
Okay, thank you. How is Lagos today?
Oh, fine. I'm always online with your program because it's highly educative.
Thank you very much.
Actually, my product, I'm into honey procurement and repackaging.
Yeah.
Honey.
Yes, go ahead. So what do you want us to help you with?
What actually, it is the marketing aspect as your man has been explaining. So that's why I'm very much, for sometimes in view of the fact that one, people's purchasing power has gone down. Two, my product has substitutes in the name of sweetening.
Yeah.
So people
Dates
don't know the
and
importance of making honey a priority. You understand? So the advice I need is that
Are you still there? Please go ahead very quickly.
how do I go to affordables? Because one, there are a lot of conflictions in the market. There are these inferior honey that is running in conflict with original. You understand? Two, affordability by the people. Then number three, the cause of what sizable something can one bring it down to so that you enjoy good patronage. Those are my questions.
Okay, just a quick question. I don't know if Abdulrasheed also has a question, but a quick question: how much does your honey cost, and what is the volume? Is it like 100 ml or 200 ml?
Presently I have it for 100 ml.
100 ml.
Okay, how much does that cost?
100 ml. My 100 ml costs about 1,500.
Okay. I think we've gotten it. So thank you. Let's see how we can help. Thank you. All right, Abdulrasheed, can we help him there?
Yes, we can.
He has a product of 1.5,
which is good.
Which is supposedly affordable.
So one of the things that people need to understand, especially if you sell a product, right, is education. You have to educate your customers. He talked about people that are doing fake. how consistent is he with his online presence in terms of coming out, educating people on what are the demerits of using fake honey, what are the health challenges that will come up if you use fake honey, how can you identify fake honey? So I'll give you an example. If both of us sell honey, and every day I come online and I'm telling people, I'm showing people how I'm sourcing my honey, showing people how original my honey is, but you just put your package in and say, come and buy. Who do you think people will be more comfortable buying from? Me, because I'm showing the process. So I think that one of the things you want to do for you to be able to reach that audience is show your process, show your back end work, show the behind the scenes. If you have a bee farm, show us the bee farm. Let's see you going into the bee farm. Tell us the different types of bees we have. Educate us. Because you see, a lot of business owners struggle with content creation because it's hard. But the hack that they need to understand is instead of creating content, they should document. So all you're doing is you're documenting your day and you're putting it out there. So today you're showing us, okay, how do you package your honey? Tomorrow you're showing us how do how do you go to your bee farm? Another day you're showing us something else. So if you document, it makes it easier for people to be able to connect with your brand. And also, I think that as a business owner, really and truly, for you to be able to reach out to a lot of audience, you have to also invest in marketing. You can't just post every day on social media and expect that your business will sell. You can't compare people that are investing heavily in paid ads and marketing their business. Lastly, I think for David, what I would suggest you should do is create a lead magnet. And what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is something that you can give for free that will entice people to kind of show interest in what you do. So for example, you can say, I've done a document. I've been in honey business for 10, 20 years, and I have a document about the 10 benefits of honey, right? If you want it, send me your phone number and I'll send it to your WhatsApp. So they send you the phone number, you send them the free document. What happens? You've generated a lead, you have their phone number. Tomorrow you can now message them, were you able to read it? How beneficial was it? And just because, to tell you thank you for getting that document, I'm willing to give you 10% on your first purchase. The more leads you get, because sales is a numbers game, the more leads you get, the more you'll be able to convert people. The more you'll be able to convert people, the more sales you'll be able to make.
And perhaps I should also add this, I don't know, we didn't get that from him. If he has a shop, he sells his own honey,
Yeah.
Or because of affordability now. But for 1.5, honey for one, because I know honey is even expensive. For the ones that I buy here in Abuja, it's a bit expensive. Yeah. And honey does not also, okay, it depends on those that are health watching. Those that are doing health watching is an essential
for them.
For them. So I could say you could look for like retail stores around you.
And stock.
And stock.
Or even get distributors, especially with Lagos. Because
Lagos is, and where his Abulagba is also.
Yeah. So you can have some people on the island, your stockist, any sales they make,
they get a commission from there. So, Mr. Jose, I hope we've been able to help you. Let's see if we can take another call. Good morning and welcome to the program. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Dr. Chris Anyao. I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay. Dr. Chris, what's your question very quickly?
All right. There's no doubt that this particular period is a very difficult one for business owners, especially considering the cost of running business ranging from electricity hike and even the human resource cost of hiring human resources, because everybody right now is feeling so terrible. Productivity has gone low. People bringing their domestic, problems to workplace, and that has affected productivity in no small measure. So it's actually a very difficult moment for both employers and employees alike. But then one thing I think I would want to suggest is for businesses. We are into management consulting. So for businesses such as ours, businesses who do the kind of things we do around, they should start learning how to invest more in telesales.
In what?
Telesales.
Okay, telesales.
Yes, because that's going to actually make reduce a lot of expenses on face-to-face marketing, the cost of moving around, fueling your office cars, and a lot of that, because when you do telesales, you can actually sit down in the comfort of your office and then interface with your client or your prospects and then get the business is done. And then probably when the only time you may have that need to actually meet with your clients, maybe when you want to close a deal or something. So that's actually what a lot of people, we've actually adopted that in our own place, and it has actually worked for us. So businesses can do more of that than the normal moving around, sourcing for clients and all that. Chief Nancy, you're doing a very good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chris, for calling, and thank you for your insights. Thank you. Okay, so he's giving us at least something, and for our viewers to take home. You want to add anything?
Yeah, so there's something I see. There's at every traffic point in Abuja, you see those real estate people that hand over flyers.
Sometimes it's becoming annoying. I will tell them, now person when got money, they buy house.
And the honest truth is, I see them, and that's why you see working
and
smart.
They are hustling.
They're hustling.
Those people are hustling.
There's nobody's going to collect your flyer from on the road.
Yes.
And then probably remember to call you. Not necessarily. They just collect it out of just to say, carry your wallet and be going. So instead, what I tell people is, like he said, like Dr. Chris said, move online. If you're a real estate person, come up with a lead magnet that says 10 things you must know before you buy your next property.
How about for those that don't have so many followers? Because online is also a bit tricky.
It's not even about followers.
Okay.
So you put it out there and say, look, 10 things you must know before you buy your next property. Make it something that a pain that people have. Once you do it, you do a video that talks about it and get people to sign up. Then you boost it online. Sponsored ads. I'll give you an example. I looked at it and I realized that what is the biggest issue business owners have? It's sales. I created a short course, free course on sales. I said, look, if you watch this 30-minute video, it will help you to be able to close all your sales issues. Then I now started marketing it. The views that I got, I wish I could even show it, but the views that I got from boosting it has been mind-blowing. I had to turn off the ads because it was too much.
Yeah, I can understand with you because it's just now that I'm very busy. There was a time just a few weeks or even a few months ago that I would just like give out nuggets around finance and you needed to see
people want information.
They were like, I was like, who? Yeah. So I understand what you're saying.
Instead of wasting the whole day in the traffic handing out flyers, I'd rather go and sit down somewhere and do a live video where I'm talking about 10 things that you need to avoid if you want to go into real estate. And then I tell you that, look, if you want more information, here's my number, reach out to me. If you do it more consistently, people will start to reach out, and then you can close your real estate sales.
Okay, I see that Victoria is raising her hand. So Victoria, thank you for your patience. Please unmute and ask your question very quickly. I haven't forgotten you for
Good morning, Nancy, and our special guest.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity this morning. We are talking about putting up a new model for the business to thrive. And I'm wondering, there's maybe a foresight of it will go out of circulation, or people will kind of like lose interest because people are saying what really thrives now in business is food. And so I'm the founder of Culture 37 Plus. It's a company that produces Godu, that is cultural attires.
Okay.
It's a one-stop shop where you can walk in and find any cultural attire at all. So now, because we do not want to compromise the quality of what we do, and we maintain the quality and the prices keep going up. And we're talking about re-strategizing and diversifying within the business to make it to flow. So in this case now, when you're dealing with fabric, how do you diversify when people cannot just afford to even buy the fabric itself alone? Not to talk of you now sewing it into gowns or some kind of fashion that will look more attractive, but then it will be more expensive than reaching out to people on the fabric itself. So I would want our guests to help me out on that.
Okay, thank you very much. You can mute yourself back, the mic. Thank you.
Okay, So for fabric businesses, especially, right, there are two things that I think you can do. One is shared resources. So what are the resources that you have? If you have like a tailoring place where you have like 5 to 10 machines, there are times when those machines are not working, right? Idle time. And that's what we're talking about. Like, make sure you use all your idle time. If you have any idle time, can you get someone that is trying to start up in the fabric business to come and rent space? So you say, look, every day from 3 to 5, we're giving out, you don't need to own a machine. Come, we'll give you our machine, you pay us something. That's one. Two, subscription business. And this is a strategy that I shared with a friend of mine that he does all my kaftans. And at the end of the day, after I shared this strategy, he came back and used it to hook me. What is it? Subscription. He knows that I sew kaftans regularly. He now said, listen, if I give you, let's agree, we'll give you 3 kaftans every month, but we'll give you at a low cost. But it means that every month we'll give you at least for a year. And I've been doing that for almost 2 years now, right? What does that mean?
It forces you to.
It forces him.
It forces you to sew kaftan.
To sew kaftan. Even I don't need it. They just come and say, your kaftan is on your way. But what it does for him is that it helps him to plan. If he has 10 people like that, he knows that every month he's going to sew 30 kaftans. So for this traditional attire, for example, who are the people that like to use that traditional attire? Audience. Who are your target audience? Right? Once you identify your target audience, then you now say, okay, listen, how often do they need that attire? Okay, if you need like 5 in a year, okay, can you commit to these 5? You don't have to pay every at a time. So let's say 5 of them will cost 100,000. You say, okay, listen, pay 10,000 every month, and we're going to give you 5 throughout the year. Okay. You are sachetizing the payment. They don't have to. They will receive the first kaftan. After they will be paying 10,000. That's a little, it's not so expensive. So one is your shared resources to be able to give out, rent out. Like I was telling Nancy in the office, there are times when my own office, I rent it out. Somebody says, oh, I have a small training. I say, come and use my office now. Me, I'm going to stay at home. You use my office. Shared resources. You have machines that you are not using. Every time you are not using your machine, think about it like it's money that is going down the drain.
And I also want to say something. Since it's cultural attire, I don't know who your target audience, those that you're targeting, of course, it's not an essential item in itself. Yes. So I don't know whether you need to also diversify your target. For example, what also came to my mind are like schools.
Schools.
For example, that they want to teach children now. I see
cultural they do cultural day
and all of that.
1st of October is coming up.
Yeah, so you can
so schools are going to want.
Yeah. So you are able. I see that you're giving us thumbs up. So I'm happy that we are meeting your need this morning. And I hope that when you start making the money, you remember me. So all right. So yes. So thank you for that. Okay. I see that we're having too many calls. Let's see if we can take the last call because we have just about 2 minutes to go. Hello. Welcome to the program. What's your name? Where are you calling us from? Very quickly. Oh, okay. The call has dropped. So the last question. 9 to 5 job people.
Yeah.
Is there anything for them, dear?
Yeah. So, in trying to start a business?
Salary earners.
Or just even to survive as a salary earner?
I don't even know what to say again. Because,
so I'll tell you.
But because there are some 9 to 5 earners that also have businesses,
yes,
as it were.
Yes.
Or even within that time. Because a lot of times you also have a lot of idle hours during work.
Yes. Okay, so I'll tell you 2 things. Because I work 9 to 5, right? I did about 10 years in the oil and gas industry before I went into consulting. The first thing that I think 9 to 5ers must know is that you must be willing to invest in yourself. That's one place that 9 to 5ers are not very, good at. Any training most 9 to 5 people attend is a training that was organized by the organization. The company will only train you for your current role. You are responsible to training yourself for your future role. I'll give you an example. While I was doing my 9 to 5, I did a master's online. So I work, I'll go to work. When I come back home, I'll read, I'll write my exams and everything. When a higher role came out and I put in my CV, even HR was shocked. They're like, when did you get 2 masters? But that now gave me an edge and I got the job. So first thing is invest in yourself. Take courses, take classes and all that. The second thing is understand that what you do after your 9 to 5 is where the real money is. So don't come back from your 9 to 5 and say, oh, I had a hard day, I'm tired. And you say, I'm done. No, start working on a skill. Each of us is blessed with a talent.
With something. Okay.
Identify that talent and see how you can monetize it.
Okay, director, let me see if I can take this in 30 seconds, and I hope it doesn't drop. Hello, welcome to the program. What's your name? Okay, it's dropped, so it's your luck. So, and this is where we'll anchor for today. This is part 2, but it seems that the part 2 too, no day enough.
Yes.
Because you need to see the bombardment of calls here. But let's see what we'll do. But like I've always said, this segment is once a month, and why I created this segment specifically is because of this. To be able to meet people at the point of their needs, especially business people, and I'm glad that you were able to do that for our viewers this morning. Thank you very much. Victoria, give me a feedback by next month or the next 3 months, and let's see how your business has fared. So thank you very much, Abdulrasheed. I've been speaking with Abdulrasheed Othman. He's the Chief Executive Officer at Business Leadership Consulting, and we've been talking about models to adopt in a high inflationary environment such as Nigeria. Thank you also for those that were able to speak with us, Mr. Joseph from Abule Agba and Dr. Chris here from Abuja. Thank you, and keep watching. And I hope you all have subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you haven't, please do that. And you can see other business clinics that we've done. You can get insights from there. Thank you all again for watching. Like I always say, be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. I am Nancy Naji. Until next month end, another business clinic comes. But of course, Monday next week, I'll be here through Friday with other topics and guests. So I'll see you all. Bye for now. Thank you for watching. In case this is your first time watching us, thank you. Don't subscribe to the channel, drop your comments as well as like, and most of all, share our content.